Welcome to the Healing H.A.C. podcast. I'm Wilma Mae, your host. H.A.C. stands for healing, abundance, connection, and knowledge, the core elements of real spiritual health. Join us as we explore ancient and modern tools, practices, and approaches for navigating a world that can feel fractured and demanding. You'll hear from experts across spiritual and healing modalities, as well as guests with powerful personal journeys. The goal is simple: to help you build a spiritual toolkit that actually supports your life. Let's begin. Welcome. It's so wonderful to have you here in the south of France, at our home. And we only met recently, but I really felt a connection to you when I met you.
Same.
And it was weird because when I met you, we were in Italy at our friend's wedding. We'd never met. And I think we were walking down to the dinner down the little alleyway. And we were just talking, but then I got peeled off to someone else. And I was like, I'll come back to you so we can finish this conversation. And we kind of grabbed a few bits.
But not too much, yeah.
And not too much. Yeah. But I was like, I really wanted to stay connected to you. And I really felt that strongly.
Same.
What's your name?
Christian Stroble. I wonder if that's...
Hello, Christian.
Hi.
And tell me a little bit about yourself.
About myself. Well, I was born and raised in Kingston, Woodstock area of New York. When I was 18, I moved to New York City just to explore and to escape the small town that I came from. I always knew there was like something yearning. I always saw my name in big lights, when I was little, and I was like, I'm going to do this. And went to the city and lived there for 20 plus years.
Okay, wow.
Yeah. And in between that 20 plus years, I had a stint of 9 years of living between Paris and New York.
Okay. So
I always got to see the world and explore and be able to know that there's bigger pictures everywhere. And I could always fill my soul and be inspired in different places. And then pandemic happened, moved to LA, just kind of out of the blue. Been there for 5 years. And now it's, I'm yearning for something new and exciting. And I knew this wedding was coming. And I was like, all right, I'm going to plan my trip around that. And just listening to my intuition and following. And I spent the last almost month in Europe. And in Italy, I got to meet you, and there was just that bright light that I saw behind you. And when Courtney's like, you two need to meet. And then we were just like, whoosh, and I was like, yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. And then when you offered for me to come and stay, I was just like, I'm going to take her up on this.
I'm so glad
I don't know her, but I'm just going to also listen to my heart and know that I need to just explore and meet new people and also see the south of France. And you were just so inviting, so I was very excited.
I'm so glad you came.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. And tell me what you do for a living.
I'm a stylist, wardrobe, costume. Okay. I started as an interior designer in school and then quickly went into fashion design. So my background is design, and like technical and pattern making and sketching. And I did that while I was in school. I was also kind of taken under the underbelly of New York City. A friend of mine, well, she wasn't a friend, she picked me up on the street. She said, you're super cute. You're going to come with us on Friday, meet us at the dorms. I was going to school at FIT for fashion design at that time. Or maybe it was even interiors. I think it was interior.
Okay.
And she just threw me in to the party scene, the fashion scene, the actor scene, and the downtown nightlife. And that kind of brought me into this new world of fashion and design. And it really sparked my imagination. And I started while I was going to school for fashion design, I interned and assisted stylists. And then slowly, never thought I was going to be a stylist. Just over the years, while I was assisting and doing my fashion brands and working for brands and living in different places like China and exploring, I just came to being like, it was around when I was 27, 28.
Yeah.
Market was crashing. my business was like, I was like, all right, I want to do this brand anymore. And one of my best friends, who was my mentor, was just like, well, you're going to be a stylist. We're going to represent you. We're going to launch you in 6 months. And Jesse was like another light worker, a magic human.
Yeah.
Sadly, he left too soon, but he put me on this path. So now, yeah, I work with celebrities and musicians now. Of course, I do the fashion and I do the advertising and I do costume design, but more in like commercial sense. I haven't done too much TV or movies just yet. So yeah.
That's exciting.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Every day's different.
Yeah.
Different days are challenging. Some days you're like super inspired. Some days you're like, what the fuck am I doing? You know?
Yeah. I mean, well, good on you, because I don't know if I could work in the fashion world. I used to work in PR and I had that option to go and do fashion PR, but I didn't. Which brings me to actually my next question around being grounded and spirituality. For me, we're all spiritual, and humans are of spirit. You know, we're just dropped into this skin bag.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
Yeah.
And we're here because we have a journey, we have lessons to learn, and hopefully we evolve into a more elevated soul, as it were.
Yeah.
But all of us have different journeys.
Yeah.
And different lessons. So I'm curious, how do you consider yourself as a person of spirit? And did you find your sense of soul and spirit? When did you find it? Have you found it? What's your journey? Are you still looking? I mean, that's my first question. It's a big one.
Yeah, it is a big one. I think I found my spirit when I was young. Yeah. I was like always looking and searching for something new, but I was like creating like Ouija boards at like 14.
Wow.
With like a mirror and wax and just like definitely doing things I shouldn't have been doing, but I always had like a witchy sensibility to me. I always had that like, I knew there was something else. And I think when I opened up to it a bit more, I mean, I always was sensitive to different energies that weren't visible throughout my life. Growing up in my house, something was always there, and things I think we're always trying to like tap in, touch.
Right.
But it wasn't until after probably my stepmom passed away and my father passed away, I was 18, 19, that I started to like have more being in touch with spirit. And because I guess it just, you know, the circumstances of life. Yeah. But even from right when I went to college, I started taking yoga. Yeah. And I was just like, what is this? And some guy was a friend-ish, was like, I have a thing for you to go to. I think Patapi Joyce was doing this huge thing at the Puck building. Right. And it was 300 people doing yoga, my first yoga time. Wow. And I was just like, I don't know what this is, but I always felt like there was something a little bit deeper. I never connected to religion. Like, we didn't grow up super religious. I had aspects of like different like Sunday schools that I went to and then I didn't want to go to. My friends were doing religious ed. I took classes with them, but I didn't finalize. Like, I didn't do whatever the ritual was to be ordained into that church. But I just wanted to learn more and grow. And just, I always was connected to different energetic modalities. What was the first thing that you find? The first thing that I found was, I think it was Reiki. Yeah. I was in my mid-20s, late 20s, and I started to take classes with a friend and did my Reiki 1 and Reiki 2. And then I started to, or was my 30s? I don't remember. Things all kind of get mixed up. But that was one of like a modality that I tapped into. And I also had this woman who was kind of therapist, but an energetic healer. And I went to her for like a solid good year. And she was from the school of Hands of Healing Light. So she would do different techniques and spiritual surgeries and energy work on me. And she started to teach me different ways to open up and to tap in and to connect to source, and that you are like a conduit to source, and that you can run this energy through you, and that everybody has this capability. It's just a remembrance. It's not like some people are blocked off or whatever. It's just, you just have to tap in. Like you can just feel it even now. I feel it in my hands. Let's rewind. My best friend's mom, she was kind of like always doing her witchy things, and she's a lovely woman, Laura Newman. She took me kind of a little bit after, in my early 20s, and she's like, I want you to meet this woman. She takes me to breakfast upstate, and she's like, we're eating breakfast, and she's like, I want to spend time with you alone. And then she's like, I want to introduce you to this woman. She's this German woman. And I was like, okay, cool. But she didn't tell me why. So we're going to this small little farm town somewhere, and she brings me to this woman, older, German, super sweet, probably in her 80s. And she's like, she just takes my hand. Do I take my hand? She goes, oh, you're one of us.
Oh, did she?
Yeah. And then I was like, I didn't even think about it. And then Laura, when we left, she goes, I didn't want to tell you, but I had a feeling that you were connected, that there's some kind of healing capabilities, you have a gift. And she's a renowned healer. People come from all over the world to see her, to be in her presence, for her to heal them in different aspects, people having cancer, people having different things. And she goes, and I knew when she met you, it was either yes or no. And it was a yes. So that's probably the first time that I should have like,
What was your take on that? How did you react internally to that?
I was like, I always felt like there was internally, I just always know I'm here for a higher purpose, I don't know, to give, to be kind, to compassionate, but also to even just being, you're healing someone. It's not, you don't have to be like, a Messiah and you're transforming. But I said, that makes sense. All the things that I've had happen to me, and spirit coming to me after families passed and certain people. And she goes, yeah. And she's like, so just like watch it over the years. It usually starts to kick on in your 30s or your 40s, and you'll see things change. And, I've done certain things, and then you fall out of it because you're busy working and you're in the grind and you don't think about it. And then you tap back in, and yeah.
Was there any time that you ever felt fearful of your gifts?
There was a time where it was COVID. I was following like some ritual practices from a shaman. And I feel when you open up to everything. And if you don't know how to manage it, to protect yourself, to create different energy boundaries, certain things can get let in.
100%.
Like even when I did the Ouija board when I was 14, I let something in and it never left the house.
Oh, gosh.
It would run around in the trailer at night, and like, I don't know, eventually it left. But like, if you don't know how to manage and do the proper techniques, and I don't know them all. So COVID, upstate, in the country home, nothing to do, taking this class once a day, journaling, writing down, like working with the water spirits, working with the air spirits. If there's entities, how can you talk to them? And how can you like open up? How can you know that they're good or bad, or what their intentions are? Because sometimes certain things show up and they're not what they are,
right.
You have to you actually have to talk to them.
Yeah.
You have to be like, who are you? Why are you here? Are you here for good? This is what I was taught. But there was times where I didn't know what I was doing, and you're being taught by someone through Zoom, and you know what I mean? There's a lot of things that probably are, it's too fast tracked. It's not something you should be doing that quick.
100%.
You really can't just dive in like that. You need to be taught by the proper people, and I never have. But there was time when there was something in the room, and I was just like, I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for this kind of connection to these weird, they're not even they're like blah, 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 things, not even like spirit, like entities from another thing.
I think it's really important when, I come across people that are really fascinated with the mystical realm and want to, and they do a lot of self-practice and self-taught stuff. And this is where I would say 100% you want a master teaching you, and not just how to do all of this, but how to actually build resilience within yourself. Because you might learn all the steps and the tools, but if you don't know how to have that resilience, it could destroy you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I've seen, and with my mother and knowing how deep she was into ritual practice, the people that she did the high rituals with, my understanding is that they were so well trained and of a certain level of initiation before they even got to do those kinds of rituals. And they would everything had to be done with military precision, everything. Yeah. Because, if an entity came in, which sometimes they did, they weren't invited or whatever, you had to do work to make sure that was contained and taken out or whatever it was. I always hasten to add, I wasn't doing high ritual work with my mother because I was not an initiate. Yeah. But I was around that. It was in the house that I grew up in. But I guess there's some part of that. Like I had an experience in my apartment in New York, and we have 2 floors, and one floor is in the basement. And that's where my bedroom is, which is a sacred space for me. And I have my altar there, but I also have my exercise equipment there. And I've got a big round ball, the big rubber ball that you have. Do your sit-ups that I should be doing and don't. But anyway, it was wedged into the wall between a big chair and the dressing table. So it couldn't have moved, right? And the floor is really flat because it's the basement, right? And anyway, I had been away for a few months, came back in, had a feeling that the energy was a little bit funky in the place. And normally when I come to one of my places, one of my homes, I usually on the first day or the second day will go through and do just an energetic cleansing. It's just like when you're dusting. And that I was downstairs in my bedroom and I was getting dressed. And next thing I know, I'm looking across my bedroom floor and I see that blue ball, which is like really wedged in. I see it roll across the carpet, the rug that I had. It was a thick rug. It literally unwedged itself and rolled right across the room.
Creepy.
And I wasn't creeped out.
Yeah.
I was like hands on hip. I'm like, oh no.
Who's here?
No, I wasn't curious about who that was. I just said, you were not invited.
Oh, good.
How dare you?
Yeah.
I said, and I didn't feel a malevolence.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I just said, this is not the way you come in here. So I'm going to ask you politely to exit.
Oh, yeah.
And if you want to come back in, there are proper ways to do that. But you know very well that that's not the way. I just spoke those words, right?
Yeah.
And then I started thinking and I was like, Now I'm curious because I've never felt any entities in the space in the 7 or 8 years that I've been in there. And I'm very lucky that my neighbors in my building are wonderful and we're very family-like and they're quite spiritual as well. Then I was thinking, okay, why would this happen now? And then I recalled, I was like, oh, I had that V8 moment. The next door building had recently sold. It was an old building with about 25 apartments in it.
Oh, that's a lot.
And the old man that had grown up in that building, his parents owned it, but he was now like in his 80s and his wife had died. And his kids were saying, you should just sell it. So he sold it. Sold it to a foreign company that came in to renovate the whole building to make them more modern apartments so they could rent them out to young people.
Yeah, more expensive.
I thought that's what's happened. They have uprooted the entities that have been living in that building for a long time.
Yeah.
And they're all kind of wandering around, like, exploring.
Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah, like what's going on next door and what's going on. And so I felt that that's what that was. And so I smiled. I said, I know you have no ill will here, but you need to not come in and be in this space. So then I messaged my neighbor and I told her what had happened. And she went, I knew it. I knew there was something going on. I think she had had an experience too. I said, okay, so you and I need to do a ritual in our building so we can cleanse the whole building. And we can protect it and we can shut that down. Because while even if it's not malevolent, it isn't still welcome.
No.
I don't invite, unless you're invited into my home, you don't get to come in.
Exactly.
Right? To anyone, human or otherwise.
Yeah, totally.
So that was an interesting experience. But then we did that ritual and it was fine. Never again. And it's been absolutely fine since. But like you were saying, you know, if you don't know what you're doing and an entity comes in or you're practicing something and you're doing this work, it feels to me like learning how to do this work on Zoom is probably not the best way to learn it, because I think you need to actually really feel the teacher.
Without a doubt. Yeah, I don't think it should have been taught that way. But
but interesting that you did that. But that was the only time you had that fear.
I mean, I had, I was going to school. I was living in South Williamsburg in a kind of broken down building, 2-bedroom. Homeless would come upstairs. You know, there was always weird energy. One of my friends was living there, I didn't know, but he was getting into bad things, heavy into drugs. And in the same time, the apartment switched. And I started to feel weird things happening and like just not nice. Like you could tell. And my girlfriend can attest to this. We walk into the house and I was just like, ugh, I still feel it. This is driving me crazy. What is it? She's like, what do you mean? And I was like, I was getting mad. And I was like, why are you here? What are you doing? I feel you around me. You're not welcome, you know, and then the window went whoosh and cracked. And she saw it and I was like, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. So I was like, I don't know what to do. I'm not from this world of like how to handle this. So I was like, my only thing was to like, I always saw in Union Square, the Jamaicans, and they had all of their different ritual practices that they were selling. And I was like, I'm going to go to the Jamaicans. I feel like they would know how to teach me or give me the guidance to help remove this or, you know, like clear the space. So they did. They gave me all different kind of like things to burn and sage but also like crystal-y things. And also I had to put different like salts in different windows and areas. And eventually it left. That felt malevolent. And not right. It just was. And my friend also left around the same time when it all left. So once again, it's like inviting. When you're in a dark space, you're opening yourself up in ways with drugs that also brings in things. And those things can come in and hang out.
Yes.
I don't think it was part of the house, but that's when I first started to learn about like ways to work around entities and energies.
It was so interesting. And thank you for sharing that with me, because I feel that people often experience those things and don't know what it is, or stay frightened and stay in that space and don't realize that they actually do have. If you can learn, or you can figure out, or go to someone that can teach you how to cleanse that, you actually have the power within yourself, I think, to do that kind of work, where you need to energetically cleanse a place without being, a full-on mystical person that practices this stuff every day. And so what I want to ask you about now is that as you've gone on this journey in your life, that you have, obviously we all go through challenges, we all go through ups and downs, but when we start to connect with our spiritual side, when we start to connect with creating personal ritual, what personal rituals do you have today that have been really helpful for you in your day-to-day life, and why?
In the last few years, but recently my ritual, I've been dabbling with TM, Transcendental Meditation. So that was the first thing that kind of helped ground me in this world of freelance. When I first started as a stylist when I was like 29, and my friend was just like, you need something, you're super stressed. Your career, this life is like all over you never know what you're going to get. You never know when you're working, you never know how much or little or less. And she taught me that. So that helped. And I used that throughout the last 10, 15 years. But recently now I give myself the morning at least an hour and a half to, as we talked about, hatch.
We're hatchers. We're hatchers.
We're hatchers.
I'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah,
but
we're hatchers. So I wake up, I do my shower, straighten up because I need my brain to wake up. Then I'll sage. I'll put on Nam-myoho Renge Kyo from the Buddhist teachings and mantra. So I do that for 5 minutes. And then I go into my just quiet meditation for another 5 minutes, just so I can I have that focus where you're focusing on like your goals, your aspirations, the things that are coming in, so that keeping your eyes open and focused on one point, that's helpful. But then I want to go in and just settle and just be mindful, be present. And then I take a morning walk. I take a 10-minute walk. I try not to look at the phone. So I don't get taken away. So I do my morning walk and I try to hit the 5 senses. Smell, taste, feeling. Like I hear things and I say, what am I seeing? What am I feeling? How am I hearing it? And so then I go home, and if I'm lucky, I'll do some stretching. That doesn't always happen because then work has to go. You're like, all right, I got to start. But that is my morning routine. I have to center in and be present, and also feel my body, understand it, talk to it, and that's my morning spiritual practice.
And so you've been doing that now for some time. And did you see a difference in your everyday life when you started doing this work?
Yes, without a doubt. When I don't do it, I haven't done it in the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks since I've been traveling. I'm meditating a little bit. I'm not in my zone. So I feel a little bit off-centered. I don't feel as balanced. The thoughts are coming in a little bit deeper, and you can get triggered quicker. And stupid things that don't really matter in the grand scheme of things. I know I'm fortunate. I know I'm blessed. I'm grateful for everything that's happening, and I'm thankful. But sometimes those little chatters come in. So when I give myself the time to just hone in, center, and focus to defocus, and to just be present and be with myself and the surroundings, it helps me so much with my like clarity, how I work with people, how I show up in the world, how my mood is, how just the day to day will move like in a much clearer, calm, compassionate, kind way versus like this like erratic, energetic, like, you know, you're inside, people might not see it, but inside you're like, ugh, uneasy. Yeah, it just calms me. And I also need a space to be calm. Like I need to come in, my home needs to be my sanctuary. If I don't have that, then for me, I feel off-centered.
Yeah. It's really important. I think that's probably for me in my daily life. One of the most important things is to have my home as my sanctuary. Like I will protect that with my life. But also to have that morning ritual. Now, part of my morning ritual, which I want to share with you right now, is my spiritual bath that my mother used to make for me. And this is the one that we've been working on for the last 2 years, sourdough intention water. So I want you to experience it now.
I can't wait.
First of all, let me give you just a little brief explanation.
Okay.
My mother would make these spiritual baths, which were blends of water, herbs, essential oils, and she would do ritual around them for the user. She would make them for other people. And that user would use those spiritual baths as a ritual splash when they came out of the shower with a clean body, and they would be either given words of power or they could call their spirit guides. I was given my words of power, which are secret. And I was also, when I was 18, I had my rite of passage ceremony, and I was given the name of my spirit guide. That again is secret. But I would call that name 7 times as I splashed my spiritual bath on my body. And that is, I've been doing that pretty much my whole life. My mother used to make them, and a lot of folks that are into indigenous practices, whether it's voodoo, Afro-Caribbean practices, or Santeria, or other cultures, will have a history of making these kinds of baths for people. I wanted to recreate this because, of course, since my mother died 15 years ago, and also a lot of her students that did make the spiritual baths are getting older, and I live in different parts of the world, so I can't just go out and buy it. So I've been working on creating this, and this is something that we're going to be coming out with soon. And this is your sample. Okay. This is not the real bottle. This is just my homemade sample. Okay. Well, this is not homemade, but it is all natural. We've worked really hard. And this is the evolution of my mother's formulation. And I wanted to share this with you. And and I will send you instructions, but when you first activate this for yourself, you must not share this with anyone else. This is you. This is your energy. Got it. And then I would love for you to tell me. Here you go. Okay. And please be honest. Because it's not for everyone.
Oh no, I will.
And tell me what your reaction is now. Just open it up now.
Okay. It's beautiful. And so how would I do it?
So
it's very calming. Yeah. Yeah, it's very, for me, it's very calming. And it feels very, I don't know. I think I need to try it and see what is in it. Is there... I'm never good with like saying exactly what is
No,
in
that's
it.
okay. There's a lot.
There's oils.
Mm-hmm.
There's some kind of mint. Is there mint?
There's at least 18.
Lots of flowers. Is there some kind of sage?
There's at least 18 ingredients in there. It's a very complex blend.
Yeah, I feel connected.
Okay.
When I smell it. Calm and connected.
All right. I love that.
Yeah.
So you can take some and rub some on your skin. You'll see it has a milky nature to it.
Okay.
And it's also has some aloe in it, so it's not drying to your skin.
Okay.
Normal, a lot of like fragrances have alcohols in them for preservation, but we have used a alcohol made from banana leaves.
Oh, wow.
Which is a relatively new thing. And so it's a really natural form of preservation for this. What I will do is I will send you the instructions.
Of how to use it properly?
Of how to use it, how to activate it.
Okay.
And then my suggestion is that try using it for 30 days in the way that I've shown you.
Okay.
And then start to craft it or use it in the way that feels natural to you.
Create my
For
own
example,
ritual.
one of my neighbors, I gave her a sample. Her daughter took it because when she smelled it, it helped her with her anxiety. So while she doesn't splash it on her body, she carries it with her. And then she has it to smell. And it just immediately calms her.
Well, that's what I said. As soon as I smelt it, I felt calm. And I did feel just like kind of, what I said, calm and, what did I say before? Connected. It just made me feel just at ease and, centered.
Yeah. Good. And some people use it during meditation. I have a friend that just puts it right under her nose when she meditates, so that the smell is there and helps her just to calm. I use it when I get out of the shower, and I will use it for my intentioning work that I do. Some people pray when they go to bed. For me, it's when I come out of the shower, and I will do my 30-second ritual, and I will do my thing, and I'll splash some, put a little bit here. It doesn't have to be a lot, right? But you can put a little bit in, and I start from the bottom of my feet, and then do each limb. And I have like 21 times I say the words of power or my spirit guide. I also will, if I want to go in for the day with an intention, I will do that as well. And I will say that intention. I'll reduce it down to one word, and I'll say that 7 times.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there are different ways to use it. And, one of the things we're doing when we launch is we'll have content on the site that will show people the different ways that you can create or use it or create intention in your life. And then you can freestyle with it.
Well, it's just a good reminder.
It's a good reminder.
It brings you back to self.
Yes.
And to, your self rituals and to the intention. And I'm sure it's very helpful with manifestation.
Very helpful.
Yeah,
really, really helpful.
And I think giving, if I'm given those guides of words of wisdom, words of strength, words of courage, and these things, that will help me, because that also helps me. When I do my morning routine, if I'm doing my gratitude list or something, or what I love about myself and all these things. And you always have to bring it back to you, and you have to be grateful for your love for yourself. So this is a great, gentle reminder.
Yeah.
And especially in the mornings. I usually do my rituals after I take a bath. I take a bath, do the thing, set my candles up, do my things when I do it,
Nice.
So I
Lovely.
think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited to try it. Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah.
Come on, let's hug. Oof.
Thanks for listening to The Healing Hack. If this conversation resonated, subscribe, leave a review, and share it. You can find me at The Healing Hack on Instagram. And for more on cultivating personal ritual in your life, and to discover the products we are creating to support that, follow Sourdough at Sourdough Official on Instagram and at Sourdough Rituals on TikTok. Until next time.